To my friends and family on Facebook, I respect everyone's opinion and I'm not angry at anyone, but I am also entitled to my own opinion. Alright? And yes, some are saying that Gary Griffith isn't responsible for what is happening and that he shouldn't be called upon to say anything about the crisis or the issue. But answer this question then, right? Answer this question honestly. Just take for instance, if any of you were like left as caretakers for animals at a home, right? But you were not given any funds, you were not given any money to be able to take care of these animals. You were just left with the responsibility of keeping them tied in their kennels or keeping them tied on chains or whatsoever, right? Restricted from going out, leaving the yards or being able to go and find food anywhere. So just think about this for a second, right? If you are the one that is in charge of keeping these animals confined to those kennels or in the yard, and yet you are not given the funding, right, to be able to feed these animals, aren't you going to complain to the owners and tell them, now listen, I understand that you want these animals protected, right? You don't want them to go outside there where they could be killed by cars that are passing by. You don't want them to go and attack anybody in the roadways, stuff like that. You're keeping the animals restricted to their homes for their own safety also, right? And for the safety of others. Aren't you going to tell the owners that, listen, these animals need food. These animals need to be taken, these animals need, I need to get money to be able to take care of these animals. Aren't you going to say something? And if you don't, and you just leave these animals there to starve and to die, aren't you responsible for that? No, come on. I mean, I can't understand why people are so intent on defending this man when he is the one that is enforcing the laws that have been implemented to restrict anyone from going out and making a dollar. The man was threatening to actually close down banks and supermarkets and various places because people are now learning about social distancing. This is something that's just happened within a couple of weeks. You expect everyone to know what it is social distancing is about and how far to keep apart from one another. You will threaten people that you will close down the banks if people do not follow the instructions properly. So in other words, you're going to prevent people from accessing their own funds? That isn't heartless. But no, we will all look at it as though this is to protect everyone from contracting the coronavirus. But you have to do things in a humane way, in a compassionate way. That is all I am saying. And at the end of the day, he is not the one to get the funds to be able to give citizens. But he is the one that is being held responsible to ensure that we remain at home. Not so? So therefore, he has the voice to be able to say, listen, how am I expected to demand these people to stay at home when they are not being given the funds to be able to at least buy necessary food items to survive? Why isn't he responsible for saying something? Why? He's telling us to stay home, yet he cannot tell the public that, listen, it cannot be that they have to stay home and yet they are not being provided with any funds to be able to survive during this ordeal. How can people say that he's not responsible? Think about it again. If you are given the responsibility to take care of any animals or take care of, let's say, you're a babysitter, and you are given the responsibility to take care of these children at home, but you're not given any money to buy food, to buy things to drink, and you of yourself have no money to be able to do it. And that's not your responsibility. That's not Gary Griffith's responsibility to give people money. It's the government's responsibility. But he's the one that was given the responsibility to ensure that we stay at home. So as a caretaker, as a person who's a babysitter, you're responsible to ensure that these children stay safe at home and don't go out to end up getting kidnapped or end up doing something that could hurt themselves and stuff like that. You are given that responsibility. But if you are not given the funds, or let's say the parents are away and no money has been sent to the bank to be able to access funds to take care of these children, are you going to stay silent and let them starve? No, you're going to say something. Likewise, Gary Griffith should come out and say, listen, as I said before, yes, it is necessary for people to stay at home to prevent the spread of the virus. But we cannot expect to be demanding citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to be doing this and yet not ensure that they have a plate of food to eat at the end of the day. You cannot tell them to stay home and yet leave them to starve. That is my point. And if people cannot understand that, then Lord have mercy. I really can't understand how people could say they have a heart outside here. How people could really say they have a heart outside here and they could sympathize with people, yet prefer to defend what? The commissioner of police, because he's doing his job. He's just doing his job. But will you ask yourself this question? If you were in his position, would you have just been doing your job while you know people are literally starving at home? Would you have done that? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question in any circumstance. Would you keep people isolated? Would you keep people or animals or animals or human beings confined to a place without providing them with food to survive? Come on, people.